All right, welcome back. Week 24, my journey to Ironman California 2023. I covered in the video, or I will be covering in the video, that I am feeling a little bit of tendinitis. Not too much, I'm just a little bit. So it tells me that I need to start working on it. So later on in the video, I'll show you some exercises that I plan on doing and have been doing. Just got a little lazy on it, which means I need to get back on it. And that's going to be my answer to my repetitive movement from swimming. So it's a lot of internal rotation as I swim. So you'll notice that a lot of swimmers, although have great bodies, their posture kind of slouches forward a little bit, right? And that's just due to the lat muscles and the shoulders, just repetitive movement, muscles just get tight and it starts to affect the posture. So there has to be some type of counterbalance to the movement. So for example, if you were doing, regular freestyle, it would be extremely important to do your backstroke, right? So the more that I do, or as much as I do with the front or forward movement, I should match it with the backward movement so that way I continue or to create a balance in my shoulders. So the slouchiness just shows that there's a dominance of the muscles in the front from the repetitive movement. So I am starting to feel just a little, my shoulders are starting to develop a little bit of tendinitis. I've never really had shoulder issues before. So the fact that I feel something and it's on my right side, my dominant side, tells me a lot. And the reason it tells me a lot is when I use my hand fins, I have a drill that I do that I'll use a hand fin on my right hand and then I'll use my foot fin on my left. So it's a contralateral, right? Right shoulder, left foot. And then I obviously do it on the other side. But when I do my forward stroke with the fin on the right, my arm feels so powerful and so that pull. And then when I do the other side of my left, I can really tell a huge difference in the strength. So purpose of me doing that exercise is to really create the balance of strength in my stroke. So that's the reason why I decided to choose or to showcase the Mace clubs and the Indian clubs. Great tools. I haven't had a chance to break down my bike, so I'll definitely have it for the next week's video. Now the cool thing is, Lissy's dad is coming from out of town. He's coming to visit us for a week, and he's from Alaska. And I guess I heard he just took a bike maintenance class. So I think some people call it coincidence. I call it I'm exactly where I need to be at the right time. So now that he's coming to visit, I'm definitely gonna pick his brain and kind of have him, see if he can give me some tips on the proper way of maintenance or maintaining a bike. So that's gonna be perfect. Another thing too that's cool, that now that he's here, I don't know if it's he or I finally get to geek out on talking about swimming. And not just swimming. I've had talked to other people who are swimmers, but the specific stroke or the technique, TI, total immersion, he did it or he does it, he recommended it to me, so now I've learned it. So in the past when I would talk to him about swimming, he was so excited to talk about TI, but I knew nothing of TI, so I wasn't really into the story as much as I should. Now that I understand TI and I'm doing it, now the stories and or the recommendations and or whatever, there's more meaning behind it. There's more, there's experience behind it. So it's gonna be very cool to be, talking technique with someone regarding a topic that I really know nothing about. So he's already been giving me tips via emails. So it's gonna be cool to go swimming with him and have him giving me tips in person. So I'm really look forward for that. And let's see, the marathon is next week. Woo! The knee is feeling good. I've been doing a lot of stretches. I've been doing a lot of movement. I've been adding more impact to the legs and the knees. So I don't really think that my legs will be sore from the run. I think my legs will be sore from the impact. So I guess what I'm saying is not the muscular soreness, but more of impact soreness, I think is going to get me this time around, but I'm not really worried about it. I have a week to recover, and then training camp is right after, so I'm really excited. Regarding the marathon next week, Rosa's ready, I'm ready, cardio's good, mind is right. Again, the knee is no longer swelling. I've spoken to her this morning and she is a go. She's feeling good, cardio's good, muscle's good, mind is right. So far, so good. So next week, or next week's video, basically going to be the trip to Eugene, Oregon, and the race itself and then the post race. So that's all going to be next week. So I guess I'm not going to be doing my bike video next week, maybe the week after, but I will be doing it in person. I probably won't have it in the video. So I will definitely have that done by next week, but I don't know if it's going to be in the video or not. So that's all next week. Wow, things are moving along. I've been doing a lot of my GTN watching, and now it feels like it's just like a TV show. And I'm watching every single day. I can't wait to get up in the morning to see what the next thing is. I'm just adding information into my head so I can get an idea of what this race is going to be like. I have no idea. And as much studying as I can do, I'm not going to get the concept of how things work because of the unpredictability of weather and injuries and all kinds of stuff. So it's just, but I really am doing as much as I can to kind of understand how the day is going to be. I mean, again, I've done races before, I understand, but just the triathlon, 3 different sports, and not just an event, but the event of events when it comes to triathlon. I know it's not Kona, but it's an Ironman. That's it's a lot of miles. So there's a lot of things going on in my brain as the days get closer to the race. But again, I'm excited every day. Like, I'm immersing myself in triathlon. Yeah, that's a little bit of an update. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. All right, welcome to week 23. So I will say, I was a bit challenged today. Not a big challenge, but these little challenges, if you allow them to progress, they can get bigger and bigger or multiply. And when they multiply, forget about it. Before I get into my story, you guys know me already. I love data. I love to know about my favorite subject, me. And I also use a Oura ring, and I mainly use it for my sleep data to see how I sleep, how I feel. And for the last, 5 years or so, I've been researching and doing a lot of experimenting on finding ways to improve my sleep. Not the length of my sleep, but the REM sleep, the deep sleep. And I noticed that I don't really go into deep sleep very often. Again, that's why I got the Oura ring, and I've been experimenting a lot, which is another subject. So this morning I woke up and my Oura ring said I had a score like 66, I think. And when I see these scores, I don't live by it. What I'm doing is kind of finding a comparison. I want to see if the data and how I feel, I am getting an idea. Sometimes when I wake up at 60 sleep score, which is not very often, I don't feel really tired. I might crash earlier in the day, but I really don't feel it when I wake up. But this morning, I felt it. I was just tired. I was like, okay. So I had a long, early morning, started at 6, got off at 1, and I came home, had some lunch, and I told myself, all right, let me catch up on some Z's. So I set the timer for 20 minutes. 20 minutes goes off, I wake up, and reset another timer for 15. Right there, I've already lost. But I just felt, hey, I needed my sleep. Then 15 minutes later, which felt like 2 seconds later, my alarm goes off, and that's when it began. The struggle. Hey, I'm making a video. The struggle in my head of, the angel and the demon. The angel saying, all right, let's go work out, because today's workout is, I'm cycling. So I've been alternating cycling for 10 miles, and then I'll do, 16, 1700, whatever for the swimming. And today's a biking day. So again, the angel's like, hey, it's time to work out. And the devil on this side is like, nah, 10 more minutes of sleep. Just 10 more, you're not even in training camp. You're good. Like, there's no urgency. You can take a nap. You're tired. And I know that even though I'm not in training camp, all these little things that I'm doing are habits. And I know that if I convince myself to rest, then I know that habit, it'll just be easier next time. So I really, wanted to listen to my body, but at the same time, I have to train. And, I still went out and did my 10 miles, but it was a struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I even was trying to justify it. I'm like, I'll do indoor cycling. I know damn well if I do indoor cycling, I'm not gonna push it as hard as if I'm outside. And it's beautiful outside. Look at this beautiful sun. Yeah, there's no way. So I got out, did my 10 miles, and I'm not doing mini miles yet. Again, I'm just building a foundation, but I had to do my minimum of 10, and now I feel great. I'm really glad that I went out and did it. But, as athletes, we all have that struggle. We don't want to do this stuff, but we know that we have to do it. And that's the discipline aspect of training. And the whining you hear is the lack of discipline of my boy Dozer. This guy needs to exercise now because he's saying, I need to work out, right? Right? Yeah. So Time to work out the dog. Never ends. All right, welcome back to week 24. And I wanted to show you guys an exercise that I do for my shoulders. Now I've done, I think week 4, week 5, I was showing the Indian clubs. And the Indian clubs I only did in one exercise, in the 3 planes of motion, which is the forward swing, the backward swing, the side swing, the other side swing, and then the other one was the over the head, front to back. This time I'm going to show you just some different exercises that I do for the shoulders. And I'm using the 4-pound Indian clubs. And the other tool that I'm going to use is a 30-pound mace club. So these are one of my favorite tools for shoulders. Now, I'm not going to lie, with all the activities that I've been doing, I've been kind of slacking off a little bit on my fitness, on strengthening my muscles. And definitely need to get back into it because I am starting to notice a little bit of tendinitis in the shoulders. Now, I've never had tendinitis in the shoulders before, but I also never have done 3,000 to 4,000 meters, if not more, in a week in my exercise program. So the shoulders are definitely starting to feel a little bit of wear and tear from the constant swimming that I've been doing. So, which is totally fine. As a trainer, this is my specialty. I start looking at the weaknesses and strengthen them. It's that simple. So, I decided to make a video on the exercises that I do to start strengthening the shoulders when I start to feel any type of weakness. So I'm going to show you some club exercise. Now the club exercise is going to be a windmill. So you have the regular windmill motion, and then you have the opposite, which is the reverse windmill. Single arm, and then I'll do both at the same time, both directions. And then you'll see with the mace club, the bigger one, I'll start to do my mace ball swings, and it's just kind of like a halo motion on the next exercise. And again, when you go one direction, you have to go the other direction. So that is what I will be doing on my off days, not my off days, but my days to strengthen this tendinitis that I'm starting to feel. Now, if I don't address it, then that's when it starts to get worse. So I have to listen to my body and say, okay, well, there's definitely a feeling, right? So what can this feeling be? Well, I have never had this feeling before, so the only thing that I can think of is the implementation of my swimming. So I noticed that when I put my arm behind my back for the club exercise, I can feel the tightness in my shoulders. So definitely from all the swimming, my shoulders are getting tighter. So again, that's why I have to address it immediately before it gets worse. So I hope you enjoy the video of my shoulder exercises for my clients. They know these exercises very well because we do them all the time. So now you get to see me doing them.